Welcome back to another episode of Door Kickers 2 Task Force North, where I have been breaking down close quarters battle tactics and doctrine as used in the real world and then applying those tactics to this game. If you haven't yet seen the previous 7 episodes, I invite you to begin with the first one. That playlist is linked on screen now. Today we're taking a look at a level called VBIED Are Us. This is a blind look. I have never played this match or this map before. For the first time, we have the introduction of 2 marksmen to our stack, or at least the game is recommending that we take those 2 marksmen, and something that was requested during the last video is that I do a more thorough analysis of the map itself and then describe the loadouts that I'm taking and why I'm taking them. So let's go ahead and do that now. So this is called VBIED Are Us. I'm going to assume that there's vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices throughout this area. Because of that, and it's a VBIED manufacturing facility, I'm assuming it's full of bad guys. I don't think there's going to be any women or children here, which means I have the luxury of being extremely violent, extremely lethal, maintaining that violence of action, one of the most important principles of close quarters battle, the other 2 being surprise and speed. So this is going to be heavily influenced by violence of action. I've got a long, narrow corridor up top. This is a super dangerous open danger area. I'm going to be looking for a way to separate these 2 areas from one another and then deal with this section separately from this section. I can just tell you that's kind of my theory going in here. If we start to take a closer look, some of these windows have curtains, so it's definitely a threat, but I can still remain concealed despite moving past them. I just need to be wary that there could be enemy inside that are going to be taking a look at me. First vehicle doesn't seem to have anything weird about it. This second vehicle is absolutely a VBIED or a VBIED being built. You can see on the front it has improvised armor. It's super common during the ISIS conflict, something that a tactic or a technique or a procedure that was frequently adopted by ISIS so that they could get their suicide drivers closer to their target before being destroyed. So that'll protect them from some small arms on the way to the target. If we've got VBIEDs in the area, that means there's going to be a large amount of homemade or military grade explosives. And VBIEDs frequently, we're talking about potentially thousands of pounds of explosives. And so this place is going to be a very, very high threat area. C2 tanks could be storing or helping manufacture some of those explosives, heavy machine guns, and then 2 AK-47s. So a heavy machine gun, I know it takes at least 3 people to operate, the gunner, an ammo bearer, and an assistant gunner. You can cut that down to 2, but never 1 really. So I know at least 2 people and then a +1 and a +1. So we're talking about a fire team size enemy element so far. I also see another VBIED located here. Looks like we have some additional VBIEDs located there. This could also just be like a fighting platform frequently used by organizations, specifically ISIS. They'll armor up the front, they'll armor up the sides, and then they'll have a troop carrier space in the back that they can fire from on the move. Same kind of signature here. So we're seeing a VBIED signature across the board, lots of explosive manufacturing, lots of tools that would aid in rigging these VBIEDs, additional tanks. I haven't seen any cooling, which is pretty frequent. It's required, for HME. A lot of times you'll see tanks outside that are cooling off. That could be some HME in there potentially. And here we've got what looks like Pelican cases or tough boxes that are probably full of military grade equipment. Indeed they are. I see some sort of looks like an aerial delivered munition. It's not a mortar. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like a freaking bomb, like a JDAM or something. That's crazy. Another heavy machine gun here. More explosives. Bottom line, guys, this is, here we go, lots of explosives here. So tires are pretty common to use as smoke screens, so they could be burning those tires. Got jugs, yeah, so they're mixing, they're actually generating HME itself in here. So with all that in mind, this is a really high threat environment, and we're going to go in understanding that this is going to be very dangerous and very kinetic. Our mission is to kill all the bad guys in here without taking casualties ourselves and then get out safely. We are allotted 8 assaulters to do this, so that's 2 4 assaulter fire teams. They've recommended that I go with 2 assaulters, an automatic rifleman, and a squad designated marksman per fire team. I'm going to swap that out based off of the mission analysis that we just performed. I'm going to take those marksmen out of the fight, and I'm going to replace them with grenadiers, who we found to be invaluable during our last operation, and I trust that will remain so during this operation. So my 2 most experienced assaulters are on each team. I've got so assaulter, automatic rifleman, grenadier. So we'll go 2 assaulters, automatic rifleman, and a grenadier per.
Roger.
The reason I'm going with the grenadier over the designated marksman is just because I'm not getting a ton of range in here. All of my weapons have EO techs on them. So there's no reason really for me to make it You know, I don't need to bring any specialized weapon. I don't need to bring an M110 SAS to get the range to shoot, you know, the 60 or 70 meters that might be required in our longest possible engagement. All right, now what's our general plan here? We've already decided we want to clear this first. That means we're going to maintain security here. I think I'm going to high-low this corner, pull security, move across, try to get straight in here, because I know if we fight in here constantly, if we fight in this danger area, we're just going to die. So I want to get inside as fast as possible, but I still want to be able to pull security long so I can pass friendlies in here. So let's get to planning. All right, first things first, we're going to highlight this corner to build situational awareness with our first 2 assaulters. Haven't been compromised yet, so I'm not going to go loud. I am presuming because it's daylight, we are going to see enemy down here. Sure enough, 2 enemy. I'm going to go start creeping everybody else forward. Okay, we're going to continue to improve this geometry by pushing across the far cover. Now we got cross coverage. Where's my grenadier at? So we've got an enemy that has some cover and concealment. We're having a tough time with the geometry here. We're getting kind of caught up on this little area, so I'm looking for a way to get effects into that dead space. The way to do that is going to be with my grenadier. So here's my grenadier. We're going to pop him up here, and then from there, pop him around the corner. Once he's around the corner, he'll put a grenade deep. We're going to hold him here. All right. Uh-oh.
Alpha, go.
Alright, and we already have identified an additional enemy combatant in this area, so we're going to continue to try to get effects inside. That's a grenade. That's a new threat. Woo! Alright, boys. This guy needs to die, and die fast. So these guys are highly trained. Super dangerous. This is why that SDM might have come in handy. Okay. Situation continues to develop. We're going to start pushing forward here. Push one more assaulter across the way. And pull long. Alright, we're going to establish a battle position pulling long security here. We're going to send our assaulters inside. Alright, we're going to get a grenade in this room. We're going to creep forward and pull security on this window. That'll set conditions to pass our next fire team up into this breach. This is, again, starting to get a little hairy here.
Alpha,
That
go.
grenade's going out.
Bravo, go.
Alright, so in this situation, I've got cross coverage with one assaulter pulling security on this window, one assaulter still pulling deep security, and then a buddy team here still pulling deep security. We need to get inside. This guy has a wall shot. I think I'm just going to come straight through this window with all these guys. Alright, boys, let's go. Okay, pretty dangerous situation again. We are going to bang this breach. We're going to perform dynamic entry through a window. This is incredibly dangerous. Each guy is going to move to a point of domination that I've already marked out while simultaneously still pulling security with that other fire team that's long. It's about to get very, very hairy. I'm deeply concerned about suicide vests and hand grenades, especially now that we are getting in an enclosed space. But there's not a lot of ways to mitigate the risk without just backing off and dropping a bomb on this place. So I think we're doing everything that we can while preserving the munitions that I think we'll need later on in the fight. Bangers out.
Bravo, go.
Okay. We're doing alright still.
Bravo, go. Bravo, go.
Alright, we have two threats here. We're going to maintain security long with this battle position, not going to quite commit them quite yet. And we're going to continue to work through this problem until we think we need reinforcements. We're going to move into a large corner-fed room first because I have an open breach and that is the greater threat. We're going to prep that room with explosives if we can, certainly with diversionary devices in the form of flashbangs, while still maintaining security on our flank. Let's go ahead and start working that now. Alright, both of my assaulters are going to pie. This assaulter is going to turn the corner and get a grenade out. Frag's out. As soon as that frag goes off, we're going to flow into this room. This assaulter will continue to maintain security on our flank. Lead man. Path of least resistance. He's going deep. First thing he's going to do is clear his... First thing he's going to do is clear the immediate threat. Next thing he's going to do is immediately go to his corner. Two man is coming in, going long. He'll stop here. First thing he is going to do three man will hold center on this door. Alright, we have yet another open breach. Still have security over here. We're starting to run out of options. This is my biggest threat because it's an open breach, but I still don't want to leave this guy by himself. I'm getting to the point now where I think I need to give this guy a buddy and we can do an entry into this room. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up an additional assaulter to help our friend out here. Our battle position up here is still engaging targets long, protecting these guys. Our geometry is still looking good in the south. Alright, now that we have a buddy team here, typically you never do a wall shot like this inside. It's just too large of an explosive and you get a lot of blast overpressure. And I would not do it in this situation either because of the threat of a secondary detonation from all this explosives that's in the area. So this is an incredibly high risk. And I would never do this real world. This is a video game and I just want to have some sort of violence of action whenever I go in here. So that's the reason for making this decision. Alright, we're gonna blow this charge and then hold what we got. We should have some good geometry to do a tactical clearance of just about all of this room before actually committing anyone to it. Let's see what it looks like.
Alpha, go.
Breach is open. I've got a little bit of dead space still. Now if you look at this, just the way we've arrayed ourselves, I've cleared just about all of this room with the exception of this little sliver simply by opening up a breach. And then I can also see way down here deep, I can see a lot of this room. So really the area that I have left to worry about is this and then this. So that's a huge win without actually having to commit assaulters to these fatal funnels. So we're avoiding casualties unnecessarily. I'm going to start here by maintaining long security deep to protect this guy as he goes ahead and pies this corner. He's going to hold long. As soon as he comes around the corner, he'll transition to the corner. And then he'll switch back deep. Okay? Alright, that room is now clear. Last chance here, we're going to go ahead and high-low this hallway. And I forgot the high-low function doesn't actually work correctly in this game. But had it worked, that would have been sweet. Alright, first structure is clear and secure. Next thing I want to do is completely isolate this area and still prevent enemy from coming in this direction. Alright, we're going to do that. We've got, remember, one of the principles, it's not an official doctrine or anything like that, but one of the things that we try to do is fight from L's. And when we say L's, we mean literally the letter L. We try to fight on the enemy's flank. And if you look at this truck here, for example, if we have assaulters up here and assaulters here, we form an L, and that gives us the ability to potentially see down behind that truck. So if this is what's left, if we have to clear the rest of this structure, we want to do it by creating an L. I'm going to create that L by first moving these guys forward and giving them eyes deep, and then eyes like this. And then I think I'm going to try to bring these guys across and clear that direction. But we'll see how that goes. Biggest danger area here is obviously this garage. And of course we got this, but the biggest area that I'm concerned about is that. So first things first, let's create a good geometry by getting this battle position set up. Contact close. All right, we got a good geometry there. Next thing let's do is open this up a little bit more with a wall shot. Again, we don't like doing wall shots internal, but this is a game, and right now we'll do whatever we can to get better security for our people. That's exactly why we do it. Open up that wall, create a good geometry, engage this guy. And remember, this guy would have been a threat to those guys as we assaulted through. And we're just continuing to improve our security situation right now. We're looking pretty good. We can see a nice sliver of this room finally. We can see almost all of this space with our battle position up here. We've got really, really good security on a lot of this area. I'm feeling pretty confident in our current situation. All right, these guys have been in contact quite a bit. We're gonna frag here. Let's get you down here first, bud. He's gonna move here, put a frag right here. Purpose of that frag is to clear this dead space. That means I can go straight in. Simultaneously, we'll come up, pull along security. Pull along security, that's protecting the guy that's throwing the grenade. Feeling pretty confident down here in the bottom still. Okay, we're gonna flow into this long room. This is pretty dangerous because this is an open breach that could really, really easily engage us. I wish I had a way to put some HE into this dead space across the way. It's all right. That frag's out. Hit the barricade there. We're gonna try again. Okay. We've gotten a lot of gunfights. There's no reason not to continue prepping this objective. Remember, we don't think that there's potentially, civilians in the area, so we want to be as violent as we possibly can in how we protect each other. And that's exactly why. We've got more M320 that we can continue to dump into this space. All right. We've got good security here, good security here. We've now set conditions for a very dangerous breach.
Alpha, go.
Covering our buddy while he puts a charge on the wall for us. Charge is set. No reason to hang out any longer than we have to. Actually, we'll put him here. And him here. Continue to just improve this geometry so that by the time we finally commit, we are in a really good spot.
Go.
There we go. Didn't even have to commit to the far building, and the level is completely cleared. So some principles that we use here: fighting from L's, violence of action, having some tactical patience in the way that we go about clearing these structures. Don't commit assaulters to places where you know bad guys are unless you absolutely have to, until you've prepped each of those locations with a lot of high explosives, and kill everyone from as far away as possible to avoid getting deaded by VBIEDs and SVS and hand grenades and things like that. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you are enjoying this series, I'd appreciate if you'd support the channel by simply subscribing to it. Once we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'll be doing an Ask Me Anything video and a look back at my introduction to the platform all those years ago. I appreciate your support. If you swing by Discord, you can drop a question to be included in that Ask Me Anything. I am Controlled Pairs, and I play the most immersive PC games in the world. This is Door Kickers 2, and I'll see you in the next one.